It's animal time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Figma number 419. It's Emilia from ReZero, which I have not seen. I have heard from a lot of people that is amazing, so whenever I get the time, I will check it out, I swear. But as of right now, I just want to have a look at this figure because she has a very cool design, she's very cute, she's very sweet looking, and a bunch of you have been asking me to review this figure when I did review the Figma RAM, and I managed to get her at a cheaper price when Nippon Yazan had a sale. Yeah, I got this one from Nippon Yazan. First time buying there, and yeah, let's have a look at the figure. I gotta be honest, the more I look at it, the more fond of the design I'm getting, so looking good. So she stands at about 13 centimeters to the top of the head, which means we are going up to almost 2 inches tall for size comparisons. Here's Chapter, Figma RAM, SH Figure Arts Goku, and Darkseid. Oh, look in detail of the figure. She does have some rosy cheeks, which I admire very much. That's a cool attention to detail. Speaking of detail, there's a lot of it in the eyes. Does look like it is in the anime. And what is this? Is this a hair? Can't get this off. Okay. Great. So we have like a weird black line in there, or ripple or whatever. Then you got the hair sculpt, which is also weirdly disconnected, the front part from the back part. As you can tell, there's a little bit of a gap when they could have just have the braid go over it. I can, you know, obviously take the front part off, and that's kind of why I liked it, but just elevate the braid a little bit and make this kind of slide under it, no? Then you have some more line work on the side, and you know, the hair itself, it does look good. I have some lines in there. It's soft plastic. I have this little detail over there, the rose on the other side, and the braid going over the head. Now in the back of it, it's weirdly disconnected again on this part, but you do have some articulation in there. Not a lot. Well, then again, if you force it, it does go up a lot. But then again, I don't really feel like that's necessary because they already left some room in the back, and you can tell the way it's flowing, it does look nice. And the front part does not rotate. Yeah, it kind of does, but it's one of these, it seems like one of these soft packs, so be careful with that. Don't have them break off. Boobs, yes, the chest area. I'm very happy to say also, I have not really seen much bleeding on this figure. There's a little bit in the purple up there, but the gold and the black lines are very clean. The white also looks good. Some more bleeding on the side over there, but just a small detail, small issue, not really much to complain about. There's some, again, a little bit in the black dots, but that's only seeable if you're really going in closely. From afar, you wouldn't even notice it. Then we go down to her robe, which I'm getting a little bit of a Zelda vibe, not like Princess Zelda, but Legend of Zelda vibe from this design in general. But then you have like these kind of a little bit gold, but not actually gold. It's more like, you know, it's gold-ish. But I mean like that, it's not metallic, it's not shiny, but it's supposed to have like a gold emblem. And that's cool. Have some more bleeding on the purple, that's not cool. How about this side? That one looks cleaner. Has a little bit of spots and dots and whatnot. Then you got what seems to be a couple of layers of skirt. That will not stop us from watching. It's pantsuit time. Yeah, you can have all the layers of skirt. I will go under that. So yeah, it's a regular pantsuit. There's a little bit of a curve in there, but that's fine. I mean, it looks good. Classic stuff. Going down to, is this? No, it's her boots. I was wondering if it's stockings or boots. No, it's like entire thing is a boot part. You have some purple under there. The line work on the boots is good. As I move down to a little bit more purple on her heels, on her soles, and the white line going through it. So yeah, overall, some small bleeding here and there, but overall I'm really happy with the design. I think it looks good. It's really growing on me, and paint-wise, there's not much to complain about. For the articulation is more the Figma standard stuff. The head moves forward, does go to the back as much as the hair lets it, so that's not really that much. It does tilt side to side, and it does go all the way around. I covered the hair in the back. You can lift it up, but then again it already pushes down immediately, so like I was saying, I don't really see the point. Can rotate this, but be careful with it because I think the pack might break off, because if it's a soft pack, it actually will. Chest area moves up and down, does tilt side to side, and rotation in it. It does not bring it all the way around because you don't have enough room for that, which is fine though. I think it looks good the way it is, and just breaking it up, making a big hole in there wouldn't have looked great. So it's kind of like a choice you have to make with like smaller figures like that, of like petite statue. You have the double ball combination in the shoulder area. You got one ball in the chest and the other one on the shoulder itself, so you can rotate that, and the ball hinge in the shoulder, you can bring that up and down. Rotate also the arm part around, and it's kind of loose in some parts. It feels like not the tightest on there, but then you have the ball hinge in the elbow, moves up and down. Now the ball hinge in the hand is somewhat limited due to the design. Obviously goes up and down and also rotates. Well, it would go all the way around, but again, all this purple stuff is in the way. Now, one of the things I'm not the biggest fan of, you have a hinge on her rope, and while it's okay, you have added articulation, while it does line up with the mold for the most part, it doesn't leave that many ugly gaps. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Sure, if you really want to have some action poses, I'm sure some people really are delighted by having something like that, but I'd rather just have soft plastic. You know, you mold it until here and just make the rest kind of flappy, because I don't know, I just think this doesn't look great. But hey, it's an articulated figure, so the more articulation the merrier sometimes, but I just don't think it looks great. That's my take on it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's just like, yeah, I don't really like it that much. Then you have the hip part, you can rotate that around, can bring it back and forth. The legs, while the skirt is cut up, I was just gonna say it doesn't, because it does really fight the leg movement. Moves out to the side, and it does move to the back. Also, you can rotate it on the ball, and you can also rotate it on the boot, so you can bring that all the way around. By the way, I didn't mention it, but you can probably tell this back piece is soft plastic. Well, there's no articulation in that, so you know, it's just like, well, I can't really put that in action pose. I don't know, I gotta let this go. And then we have ball hinge in the knee, can bring that up and down, and I think you can also rotate a little bit, but if you rotate it too much and you bend it, you might break it off, so I would not recommend doing that. The foot is on a ball hinge, goes up and down, and it does barely tilt side to side. There's a little bit, but it also rotates on the top, on the ball over there, so that's all your articulation. For your accessories, there's a lot of interesting stuff that comes with, but I think it's kind of weird with the low amount of hands. I guess she doesn't have a lot of hand movement in the show. I don't know. So you got holding hands, but she doesn't really have anything to hold, and she has fist hands, and one for, I would assume, I haven't actually tried it out, it's probably for her energy effect. Yes, you just pack that in. And she has like an ice or see-through crystal effect. Again, I'm not really familiar with the character, I haven't really watched the show, so you guys let me know what kind of spell this is. Then you have her little cat friend. Cat. Is it a cat or is it a dog? It's a magical creature, and it has like a nice gold earring. Actually painted very well considering how small he or she or it is. The head is on a ball, so you can bring it a little bit around. It is super stiff though, but you do have some movement on that. The same for the tail, which is just packed in, it's not on a ball. It's also kind of loose, so don't have it fall off and then lose it or whatever. Then you have the faces. You got like one kind of angry face and one happy face. Standard soft, but it looks good. And she does also have the elf ears, by the way, as you can tell. And then you have the hoodie, which is soft plastic. You just kind of take the head off, drape it over. It does have a hole for the base, and does have some more detail on there. I love this. The hoodie, it looks great. Well, completely just hinder the articulation though, because there's obviously nothing really. Probably might be able to squeeze a hand out if you heat it up and kind of bend it another way, but you don't want to rip it up, so it does look cool. And with that comes the hood part, which does have like the fox ears or whatever. Now, what I do know about the cloak though, it is a magical one, which makes her look human, because actually she's half elf, and there's a huge discrimination about that in the world of ReZero, and that information was given to me by Enzo. Shoutouts. He commented on it, so yeah, but the line work on there is, well, this is a little bit sloppy. It's pretty sloppy actually. Unfortunately, that's kind of weird. I think it does look better in the front, but you have some bleeding, and the white kind kind of dots in there. Don't look great, not really dots, but you know what I'm talking about. And then this one is actually very nicely, like very shiny, looks like a button. So yeah, that's all of that. Well, there's one more thing. You got your standard base stuff. You know, the free arm base with the pack on there. If you want to use it, you don't have to use it. Put that in the base. But you also have the extra arm for the little guy, which you just peg in the back. It is on a ball pack, so you can rotate it out. And you have this arm to connect it to your base, so you can have this guy floating around in the back. You can rotate it over here and over there. And there you go. You have the full set. Also, Figma back. Where is it? Here it is. Unfortunately, this is another point where I have to give a cautious warning that getting the cloak on is a lot harder than it should be. I've been trying around for the last 20 minutes, kind of heating it up, trying to wiggle it in. You know, you don't want to pull the cloak or the figure apart, but yeah, I can't really line it up. I can't have it line up completely, so probably not going to use it after all. I was really into it, but it's just a real pain in the butt, and you know, especially lining up the hole. Maybe they should have done it a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's just a warning. It's possible to get the cloak on, I'm sure about it, but it's really not easy to do so, especially with the flappy arm pieces. I'm trying to condense everything and get it over, but is it on there? Is it on there now? Nope. Still looking at the hole, doesn't really line up. So there you go. And it's gonna do it for Figma Emilia. Final thoughts for the figure. I'm honestly just kind of sad that I couldn't get the cloak look to work completely. Now you might be saying, well, Payne, you got it on there, but again, this doesn't line up, and I can't really get the head fully in because obviously the cloak isn't fully resting on her shoulders. I don't know. They should have made it a little bit wider. Other than that, I have zero complaints about this figure. Yes, there is some bleeding here and there, but yeah, the accessories, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of cool stuff you can play around with. If you can get the cloak to fully work, it's an amazing piece. The figure itself looks great, and I love the design in general. The accessory, the articulation actually, is the Figma standard, so there's nothing wrong about it. There's nothing great about it. Again, I'll be talking about this weird kind of claw thing that hangs down from her arms. You know, yeah, the articulation in there, some will like it, some don't, and that's really objective. That's not really a bad thing. So, yes, I do recommend this one because overall, great value, great look, and will stand out in your collection. I feel like, at least, as like a really cool, fancy type character, even if you don't care about ReZero. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Emilia wants. Like a cloak that fits a little bit better. Just a little bit.